So you want to break into a data career, but man, is it confusing. You see all these different job titles, and you just have to wonder, what's the real difference? Okay, let's dive in and clear this up once and for all. You've got the data scientist, the ML engineer, the data analyst, and the data engineer. They all sound kind of the same, right? They all work with data, but trust me, their day-to-day jobs, their salaries, and the skills you need to get hired are worlds apart. So, which one is the right fit for you?
And hey, if your head is spinning a little bit trying to keep them all straight, you are so not alone. This is probably the biggest hurdle for anyone trying to navigate a career in this field.
So why are there so many different roles? Well, it really boils down to one simple fact. Building a modern machine learning product, especially at a big company, is a massive journey. It's just way too big for any single person to handle all by themselves.
And this journey, it has a map. It's called the machine learning development lifecycle. You start with a plan, then you have to get the data, process it, build a model, evaluate it, get it out into the real world, and then keep making it better. Each of the roles we're talking about is a specialist who owns a critical piece of this process. So let's meet the players. First up, let's talk about the architect of the entire data world, the data engineer. These are the folks who build the foundation that absolutely everything else rests on. Their whole mindset is about creating robust, reliable systems that can handle whatever you throw at them. Their core purpose is pretty simple. Get data from point A to point B. Think about a huge company like an e-commerce site. It has a live database that's running the app, right? That's for online transaction processing, or OLTP. Now, you can't have the data team just mucking around in there. It would be chaos. So the data engineer's job is to build a completely separate system, a data warehouse for online analytical processing, or OLAP. This is a safe playground where analysts and scientists can work their magic. In short, they bring the data to the party. So what's their day-to-day actually look like? Well, they're building and maintaining those huge data warehouses. They're gathering data not just from one place, but from dozens of APIs and databases all over the internet. They create these things called data pipelines, so everyone else can easily get the information they need. And they handle all the crucial stuff like maintenance and security to keep it all safe and sound. Now just look at this skill set. This is hardcore software engineering. We're talking languages like Java or Scala and big data tools like Spark, which are essential because they process data at a scale that would literally melt a normal computer. This is a tough, highly technical role, and because there's huge demand and not nearly enough supply, data engineers are some of the highest paid professionals in the entire data field. All right, so the data is in the warehouse, nice and clean. What happens next? Well, now it's time for the storyteller to step in. The data analyst. The data analyst lives in the past. Their job is to look at all the data that's already been collected and answer the big why questions. Like, why did our profits dip last quarter? Or which marketing campaign was actually the most effective? They're basically detectives, searching for the story that's hidden inside the numbers. Their daily work involves a lot of cleaning and organizing, because, trust me, raw data is never perfect. Then they analyze it to find those key insights. But here's the crucial parts. They don't just find the insights, they have to communicate them. They create charts, dashboards, and reports, and then they present their findings to management and other teams. And to do this, they need a really great mix of skills. Strong statistics, of course. Programming in Python or R and solid SQL are absolute must-haves. But look at the last 2 points, business knowledge and data storytelling. This is what separates a good analyst from a great one. It's not enough to just find the answer. You have to be able to tell a compelling story with it. So if the analyst tells us the story of the past, who tells us what's going to happen next? Well, for that, we need to bring in the futurist, the data scientist. There's a classic saying that just perfectly captures this role. A data scientist is a hybrid. They're part statistician, part software engineer, and they're better than either one in the other's domain. They really are the jacks of all trades in the data world. Okay, so if you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, please make it this slide right here. The data analyst looks at the past to answer what happened. The data scientist looks to the future to answer what will happen. They use all that past data to build models that can predict the future. And that means they need a deep understanding of machine learning algorithms, advanced math, and strong programming skills. Now, in a small startup, a data scientist might do a little bit of everything. They're what we call full stack. But in a big company, their primary goal is laser-focused, to create the most accurate, best-performing predictive model possible. That's their mission.
Okay, so the data scientist has built this amazing predictive model. But a model that's just sitting on a laptop is, well, it's useless. How does it get into the app that's on your phone? That's where our final role comes in, the builder, the machine learning engineer.
The ML engineer is the essential bridge that connects the world of data science to the world of software engineering. They're the pragmatists who love making things actually work in the real world. You see, the data scientist knows models. The software engineer knows how to build scalable software. The ML engineer speaks both languages fluently. Their entire job revolves around one word: production. They take the model from the scientist and deploy it. Then they optimize it so it can handle millions of users without even breaking a sweat. They constantly monitor and maintain it, and they build the automated systems to manage this whole process. This is often called ML ops, or machine learning operations, and it's their kingdom. Looking at these skills, it's clear this is fundamentally a software engineering role, just a highly specialized one. They need rock-solid engineering fundamentals, deep knowledge of deployment and distributed systems, and, of course, a solid understanding of the ML algorithms they're working with.
Okay, we've met the architect, the storyteller, the futurist, and the builder. Now let's put them all side by side to really help you find where you fit in.
This table really brings it all together, doesn't it? You can see the engineers, both data and ML, are at the very top for pure software skills. But for analytical skills, the analyst and scientist are leading the pack. And notice this: business acumen is low for the data engineer, which means they can move between different industries more easily, but it's absolutely critical for analysts and scientists. And the real superpower for the analyst? Data storytelling. So take a look. Do you love building robust systems? You might be a data engineer. Are you passionate about finding and telling stories with data? Then you should look into being a data analyst. Do you want to use math and code to predict the future? That's a data scientist. And if you love building real-world products powered by AI, the ML engineer path could be perfect for you.
But here's the most practical takeaway I can give you. Don't just ask your teachers or your friends. The single best way to know what these roles really require is to go to the job websites and just read the descriptions for yourself. Companies will tell you exactly what skills they're hiring for. That's your true north. So do your research, and you'll find the perfect data career for you.